welcome to our channel Knowledge Hub. Friends, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. Today we're gonna start with your software engineering class, and this is your class 7. We had done your class 6 here. In this last unit we had completed unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3, and as well as in today's class we'll start with unit 4 here. So that unit 4 we have to start with it, and the name of the unit is unit 4 is software testing, and this is the first class of the unit 4 here. Before starting with this, it's a huge request from my side to all the viewers. Please go through with the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe to our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. So here we go ahead, and that's what we have to discuss the software testing here. On the basis, we'll first understand about software testing, which is about testing objectives as well. So the first question that has been asked is you write a short note on software testing. That has been asked for 5 marks, and that is also an important one. So let's go ahead to discuss first all about software testing. We have to go ahead with definition. On the same case that what we have to go ahead. So this has been the definition that what we have to ask, that they had asked about 5 mark. Write a short note on software testing here. So in this, that the software testing is an activity that to perform the uncover errors, and it is a critical element of software quality assurance and represents the ultimate review of specification, design and coding as well. The purpose of the software testing is to ensure whether the software functions appears to be working according to the specifications and performance requirement as well. Here, according to the Glenn Myers, the testing's object as we have. The first is the testing is a process of executing a program with the intent of the finding an error. The second is that a good test case is one that has a high probability of finding or at undiscovered errors, and a successful test is a one that uncovers an as yet undiscovered errors as well. The other question we'll talk about it, where we have to go ahead. The other question is to distinguish between errors and failure, and which of the two is detected by testing. You have to justify that. So error and failure kya hota hai, you have to differentiate between those, and you have to that tell the two is to be detected by a testing, that is. This has been asked for 5 marks as well. So first we'll discuss about error, and then we'll discuss about your testing here. So errors. So what are errors? That it is a state that can lead to a system behavior that is unexpected by the system user. Error is detected during testing here. And the other we'll talk about it, which is all about failure. In the terms of failure here, and that is, it is an event that occurs at some point in a time when the system does not deliver a service as per user expectations as well. Now we'll go ahead the further, that is to another one is of 2 marks that they had asked you about it, which is what is testability. So on the terms of testability here, in this, that testability is the degree of difficulty of testing a system. This is determined by both aspects of the system under the test and its development approach, where the first is your higher testability means better test, same cost, and the second is the lower testability means fewer, weaker test, same cost as well. So on the same basis, we'll go ahead to discuss about the testing strategies that we have to go ahead. Here, on the same cases, we'll discuss about testing strategies. The question has been asked, why are the 3 different levels of testing: unit testing and your that is integration testing and system necessary, that discuss the main purpose of each of the following these testings here. This has been asked of 10 marks here. So the various levels of testing will go ahead to discuss here. Various levels of testing. So on the various levels of testing, that what we have to talk about it, which is the first we have is your unit testing, the second is integration testing, validation testing, system testing, that we talk about it, and on the same cases. So first of all, with various levels of testing that we have, the first we have is your unit testing. In terms of unit testing, in this type of testing technique that are applied to detect the errors from each software components individually. The second we have integration testing. In terms of integration testing here, that it focuses on issues associated with verifications and program constructions as components begin interacting with one another. The third we have is your validation testing. In terms of validation testings here, that is, it provides assurance that the software validation criteria that established during requirement analysis that meets all functional, behavioral and performance requirement as well. We'll go ahead to another one, which is your system testing. So in terms of system testing, in the system testing, that all system elements that are forming the system is tested as a whole here, and that what we have to talk about it, and that is also an important one here. Now for the testing strategies, we will have to draw a diagram or in the reference towards it, and which we have as follows. That we have. So on the same cases, this is your unit testing. The second is integration testing. The third we have is your validation testing. The next is your system testing. And this is your testing strategies. Okay, and with the same case for the system testing, if I am going ahead, this is your system engineering. The another is your validation testing. This is the testing here, which is your requirements. The another is integration testing, which is your design. Then another is your unit testing, which is your code. These comes under in it, which is known as testing strategies. या ये कह सकते हैं testing strategy. So here this is what we have to talk about it, and this is your software development stages here. And other than that, what we have to talk about it, which is comes under in it, and that is your the another one that what we have to talk about it here. So on the same cases, the unit testing we have to talk about it, and here we go ahead. So on the basis of unit testing, the question is being asked is what are drivers and stub module in context of integrations and unit testings of software product? Why are the stubs and drivers modules are required? And this has been asked of 10 marks as well. The question is that what are drivers and stubs modules, and on the same cases that what we have to go ahead. So unit testing environment, we can say that we'll just discuss about it all about here. Unit testing environment. So on the basis of unit testing environment, as I told you, this has been asked of 10 marks here. So in this, in unit testing, that the individual components are tested independently to ensure their quality, and the focus is to uncover the errors in design and implementation. Drivers and stubs software need to develop to test incomplete software. The driver is a program that accepts the data and prints a relevant result, and the stub is a sub-program that the module interface and perform the minimal data manipulations if required, and that the unit testing is simplified when a component with high cohesions with one function is designed. In such a design, the number of the test cases are less, and one can easily predict or uncover the errors as well. So on the same behalf of it, we'll talk about it, and that is unit testing environment, and that we will be going ahead here in the detail. So on the same case, we have a diagram here. This is unit testing environment here. So this is that what we have to talk about it, and on the same cases that there are many things to be discussed, and that we have as follows. Through a diagram we will discuss that it has been the driver. This is being divided into two, which is module. This is results. Module being divided into two, that is a stub. This is interface, local data structures, boundary conditions, independent path, error handling path, that comes under in it. I just write it down for you all. Local data structures, boundary conditions, independent paths, the other we have here is your error handling paths. And that is comes under in it, and that we have here is your test cases. This is unit testing environment. Now we'll go ahead with other question that is comes under in the integration testing here. The question is, write a short note on the following with an example as your integration testing. So on to terms of integration testing here. This has been asked for 5 marks. Here in this, that a group of dependent components that are tested together to ensure the quality of their integrations unit. The objective is to take unit test here, that is unit tested components, and that build a program or and a structure that has been dictated by a software design. The focus of integration testing is to uncover the errors in the first, to design and construction of software architecture, integrated functions or operations at a subsystem level, interfaces and interactions between them, resource integrations and or environment integrations as well. Now we'll go ahead to discuss about top-down and bottom-up testing here. Let's go ahead with this. So where we go ahead, top down and bottom up testing. So the question has been arise, which approach is better for testing software components, bottom up or top down? That what we have to talk about it. So yeah, we'll discuss about some of the things in terms of it, and that is that the question has been asked of 2 marks, and the question has been raised your that which approach is better for testing software component. सॉफ्टवेयर कंपोनेंट को टेस्ट करने के लिए कौन सी टेस्टिंग बेटर है, either bottom up or top down? This has been asked of 2 marks. So that for that both the top down and bottom up testing method have merits and drawbacks. Depending upon the type of the system, it is decided which approach is better, whether top down or bottom up. If just working system needs to be developed quickly, then the top down approach is preferred, while for creating the robust system, the bottom up approach is used here. Now I'll discuss about the differentiate between the top down and bottom up testing here. So let's go ahead with this as well. So with the same cases, we'll go ahead to differences between, that is difference between top down and bottom up testing. So difference between top down and bottom up testing here, that what we have to talk about it. The first difference we have here in that same case is that the top down, the major control or decisions are verified at early stage itself. In bottom up here, that is here we go ahead and that further we'll discuss about the bottom up testing here. After integration all the components at the bottom level, the major controls or decisions that can be verified here. The second difference we have for the top down, and that is testing can be performed from the early stage, and bottom up testing here in this that is the individual components can be tested at higher level, but after the integrations of low level components into the cluster testing that is required here. We'll go ahead with the another one, that what we have to discuss, and that is the another testing that is the another difference between these. That is that in the top down here, that in top down testing the testing stubs are created, and in bottom up testing that the test drivers are required, and for the top down testing working systems can be available at early stage, but in bottom up testing that working system is available only after integrating all the components as well. So now we'll talk about the some of the related things in terms of regression testing here, and that is also an important one, and that what we have to even discuss here. So let's go ahead to discuss that, and that is your terms under regression testing. Regression testing, in that the question we have is your write a short note on a following with an example is your regression testing. This has been asked for 5 marks. In regression testing, if I'm going ahead, where the regression testing is used to check for the defects propagated to other modules by change made to existing program, and thus regression testing is used to reduce the side effects of the changes. There are 3 different classes of test cases that involve in regressive testing. That the first we have is your representative samples of existing test cases is used to exercise all software function. The other is to additional test cases focusing the software functions likely to be affected by the change. The another is test cases that focus on the change software components as well. Now we'll go ahead with the further one that what we have to talk about it, which is another one here, and in terms of regression testing, that after the product had been deployed here on the same cases, that regression testing would be necessary, because after a change has made to be made, the product error that can be discovered and it should be corrected. And similarly for the deployed product, addition of new feature that may be requested that and implemented. For that reason regression testing is essential. This is what we talk about it, regression testing here. Now we'll talk about for the another one, that what we have is another question. What are the attributes of good software test, and why is regression testing an important part of any integration testing procedure? This is being asked of 10 marks, and that is also an important one here. So why attributes of good software test? What are attributes of good software test? Let's go ahead. Attributes of good software test. So the attributes of good software test, that what we have to go ahead in this, that we have to ask it, and why is regression testing are an important part of an integration testing procedures. This has been asked of 10 marks here. So the attributes of good software test here, that all tests should be traceable to customer requirement. Tests should be planned long before testing begins, and the Pareto principle that can be applied to the software testing, like 80% of all errors uncovered during testing will likely be traceable to 20% of the all program modules. Testing should begin in the small and the progress towards testing in the large as well. The exhaustive testing is not possible, and that to be the most effective testing that should be that conducted by an independent third party. Importance of regression testing, that even though we had discussed here as regression testing, that the other part of this question is being asked, why is regression testing is an important part of an integration testing procedure. This has been asked of 10 marks, so 5 marks for this and 5 marks for the attributes of good software test, and the 5 marks for the regression testing for an important part of an integration testing procedures here. Now we'll talk about the system testings here, and that is system testing is also been an important one, and that they had asked you. So let's go ahead to discuss about system testing. So in terms of system testing here, the question is to define stress testing, and what is stress testing is applicable to a certain types of systems. This has been asked for 5 marks. So first we'll discuss about the system testing in terms of it, that is stress testing. In terms of stress testings here, and this that determine the breakpoint, this has been asked for 5 marks. So that determine the breakpoint of the system to establish the maximized services level. In stress testing, the system is executed in a manner that demands resource in abnormal quantity, frequency or volume. The sensitive testing is the testing in which it is tried to uncover data from a large class of valid data that may cause instability or improper processing as well. We'll go ahead further. We'll discuss about differentiate between the stress and security testing here. So the differentiate between stress and security testing. So the difference between the stress and security testings here. In this, if I'm going ahead, that is for the same sake that the user stress testings various activities to overlay the existing that resource with an access job that are carried out into an attempt to break the system down, and while security testing verifies that the protection mechanism built into the system prevent intrusions such as unauthorized internal or external access. This has been asked of 2.5 marks, that what we have to go on ahead. Let's go ahead to discuss about the another question, which is the test drivers and stops here, and that we have as follows. The another difference between the stressed and the secure, the difference between the top down and bottom up, as I told you about it, and that even though we had discussed here. On the same cases, we will be discussing many more things in terms of that the difference between stress and security testing. That is, under the stress testing, the various activities that, as I told you, that to overload that the existing resources with the excess jobs are carried out in an attempt to break the system down, while security that testing verifies that the protection mechanism built into the system prevent intrusion such as unauthorized internal or external access. Now, as I told you, we'll discuss about the test drivers and stubs here, and that we have as follows. So that we have as follows, and that is the test drivers and stub. The question has been asked, define drivers and stub modules, why drivers and stub modules required. This has been asked for 5 marks in the examination paper, that what we have to talk about it. So drivers and stub modules. Drivers and stub modules, this has been asked of, that they had asked you about 5 marks here, that the drivers and stubs are used both in unit and integration testing. Following figure shows the role of the drivers and stubs in testings here, and that even though we have to talk about it, where we have here, that is your module. This is being divided here. So that is stop. This has been the module A, where that has been divided here into stop, stop B, stop C, and that is the drivers and stubs. We have to talk about it. So now we'll go ahead for the drivers as well. This is your module 1A. This is being divided into 2, which is module B, module C. This is drivers and stubs as well. So now we'll talk about the drivers and stubs modules. So in the drivers are also considered as the form of the dummy modules, which are considered as calling program, and this is known as I told you, calling programs. Drivers are considered as what they had gone through with it, that drivers has on the same cases. We'll go ahead. Onto the same cases that the drivers are considered as the dummy module and also that simultaneously the high level module, while in terms of stub module, that stubs are also considered as a form of dummy modules which are considered as cold programs. This is calling program and this is called. Drivers are calling program and stubs are called programs, where drivers are considered as dummy module that always simultaneously the low level module here. For example, suppose we have a three modules, namely module A, module B and module C. Now of module A is ready, we need to test it, but module A calls module B and module C. The module B and C are not ready, so developers will write dummy modules to stimulate the module A and module C, module B and module C. These modules are called stub modules here. And on the same cases, now consider the another cases. Suppose module B and C are already that ready, but the module A, which call module B and C, is not ready. Then in this situation, the developer will write a dummy piece for module A, and this dummy piece of code is called driver module here. I will go ahead further. We'll discuss some of the differences between that they had asked you, even though 2.5 marks here. So for that sake, we will go ahead, and that is the first difference that we'll discuss here, which is difference between stubs and drivers here. So that's what we have to talk about it. Difference between stubs and drivers. The difference between stubs and drivers here, that what we have to talk about it, and where in that the drivers and stubs. So this has been asked of 2.5 marks, and in stubs here that and the drivers here, the drivers for that stubs are dummy programs that meant for the called program, as I told you, and that for that the drivers we have, that drivers are the dummy program meant for calling program, as I mentioned. The other difference we have for the difference of the driver, that is the drivers are considered as a dummy modules that simulate the low level module, and for the stubs here, that the stubs are considered as a dummy module that simulate the high level module here. On the same cases, drivers that during testing the lowest modules are tested first. For the second one, that is for stubs, that during testing the highest modules are tested first as well. On the same case for the drivers that used in the bottom up approach, and for the stubs that used in the top down that approach here. Now we'll discuss many more things related to it, and which is in the terms of black box and white box testing, and that is another question. On the question they had asked you, discuss the difference between the black box and the structure testing, and suggest that how they are can use together in with the same case for the defect testing process, that even though we have to discuss here. So first of all, we'll discuss the difference between the black box and structure testing, which is your white box testing as well. And then after that, we'll discuss the use of the black box and structural testing together in a defect testing process here. So let's go ahead, and that is the difference between black box testing and white box testing. So in the terms of difference between the black box testing and the white box testing, that we have to go ahead. Onto the same contrary, that in the black box testing, the black box testing is called behavioral testing, and a white box testing here, that is the white box testing, is called as glass box testing as well. In a black box testing, the black box testing examines some fundamental aspects of the system with a little regard for the internal logical structures of the software. But in white box testing, that the procedural details, all the logical parts, all the internal data structures are closely examined. The third difference we have the black box testing. During a black box testing, that the program cannot be tested 100%. For the white box testing, that led to the test the program thoroughly. For the black box testing, this type of testing is suitable for large projects, and for the white box testing, this type of testing is suitable for small projects here. Now we'll go ahead to discuss about it, which is the another one here, and that is also an important one, which is use of black box and structural testing together in defect testing that of the process here. So with the same case, we'll go ahead. Use of black box and structural testing together in defect testing process. So on the same cases here, both the techniques that can be together used in defect testing program as follows. Here, that is the first step, we have that initially each component of the system is to be tested individually to check whether the functions are working properly or not, and this type of a testing is called unit testing, and this is white box testing as well. For the other one, we'll talk about it, and here that we have the another which we have to go ahead as well. On the same cases here, the second, we have all the tested components can be integrated or assembled to form an integrated software package. At this level, the integration testing is conducted, and this testing is of black box testing of type of testing here. The another is then a validation testing is performed to ensure that the system which is developed meets all the functional, behavioral and performance requirement. The validation testing is performed using a black box testing method as well. The another, finally, the system testing is performed to verify all the elements of the system properly working and overall system performance is achieved in the given environment. And the most important thing to test is whether the developed system satisfies the customer's requirement here. Now we will be going ahead with another question that has been asked, is what is the difference between black box testing and white box testing? Explain. This is of 5 marks here that we had discussed, that has been asked of another type here as well. The another question is what categories of errors are traceable using black box testing, and explain the black box testing in detail. This has been asked of 10 marks here. So that the categories of the errors that are traceable using a black box testing, that we have to talk about it, and the same case for the advantages as well as I will talk about the disadvantages as well in terms of it, that has been asked of 10 marks here. So yes, we'll go ahead. In terms of advantages, that the black box testing focuses on fundamental aspects of system without being concerned for internal logical structures of the software. And in the same case, that the advantages of conducting the black box testing is to uncover the following types of error. The first is the incorrect or missing function. Second is your interface error. Third is error in external data structure. The fourth is performance error, and the fifth is initializations or termination error, that I will write it down for you all so that you can go ahead for the advantages as well. The advantages of conducting the black box testing is to uncover the following types of error as well. The first we have for that is your incorrect or missing function. The second we have interface error. The third we have here, which is your error in external data structures. The fourth we have performance errors. And the fifth we have initialization or termination error that we have. Now I'll talk about the disadvantages as well. In terms of disadvantages here that we have, even though we have to talk about it, all the independent parts within a module that cannot be tested. This is the first disadvantages. The second is the logical decisions along with their true and false sides that cannot be tested. The third disadvantages we have, all the loops and the boundaries of these loops cannot be exercised with black box testing. And the fourth we have internal data structures that cannot be validated as well. So here we go ahead, and that is to discuss about the structural testing, which is white box testing. Here the question is being arise, what is software testing, and explain the basic path testing using a flow graph analysis in detail here. Now we'll go ahead. So as I told you about this structural testing, which is your white box testing here, the question being arise is that what is the software testing, and explain the basic that path testing using a flow graph that analysis in detail. So yes, we'll go ahead for the software testing. This has been asked of 10 marks. So for software testing, the software testing is an activity performed to uncover errors, and the basic path testing, if I'm going ahead here in detail. So basic path testing here, that is the path testing is a structural testing strategies, and this method is intended to exercise every independent executions path of the program at least once, following other steps that are carried out while performing the path testing here. For the step 1, that is that to design the flow graph for the program or a component. The second, to calculate the cyclometric complexity. The third, to select a basic set of paths. And the fourth, to generate test cases for these paths here. So now we'll discuss one by one each path, each step in a detail. That is the first path we have here, as I told you about it, and which is to be as follows, that is to design the flow graph for the program or the component. Step 1 is design the flow graph for the program or a component. So in this, flow graph is a graphical representation of logical control flow of the program. Such a graph consists of a circle called a flow graph node, and which basically represent one or more procedural statement and arrow that called as edge or links, and which is basically represent the control flow. In this flow graph, the area bounded by the nodes and edges are called regions. Various notations used in the flow graphs that we will use here, and that we have as an art that are to be as follows, that I will just represent it out, and so that you will get to know. And the same cases that we have, this is statement 1, statement 2. This is for the sequence here, that is the statement 1 and statement 2. This is sequence. Second we have for that, so here we go ahead, and that is which we have as follows. And that we have, this is your true, and this is if false, and this is for the if else case, Other we have here, which is for while. False. This is for true. And here it is for while. This is for case 1. This is for case 2. This is for case 3. And this is for respectively for case n. This is what the cases. These all come combinedly. Okay, for example, for this, that following program is for searching a number of using binary search method. We have to draw the flow graph for the same, and with the help of these symbols we will be representing. I'll just write it down of the program, and then you have to represent it through a diagram, and that we have a flow graph for the same here as well. So let's go ahead with it with that as well, and that is also an important one. So here we have as follows. The program we have, which is void search int key int n int a int mid. For the first line it will be your int bottom equals to 0, int top equals to n minus 1, while bottom less than equals to top, mid equals to top plus bottom on to the fifth we have So on the unit 5th that we have to discuss here, which is your software maintenance and software project management, where we have to discuss the software as a revolutionary entity and the need for the maintenance, as well as that is the categories of the maintenance: preventive, corrective and prospective maintenance, cost of maintenance, software re-engineering, reverse engineering, software configuration management activities, change control process, software version control, and overview of the case tool, estimation of the various parameters such as cost, as well as the efforts, schedule durations, construction cost, as well as the models, that is your COCOMO model, resource allocation model, software risk analysis and management. That's what we have to discuss here. So here, thanks to all of you, and please go through the subscribe button and please like, share and subscribe to our channel so that many maximum people can get the information at once, and even you can also enjoy the video as well. Thank you, thanks for appreciation, and thanks for subscribing our channel.